My name is Ariel Schulman, and I am co-director of Catfish and the older brother, the very proud older brother of Yaniv Schulman, subject of Catfish.
I'm Henry Joost, co-director with Rel of Catfish.
I'm Yaniv Schulman, and I am the subject of the film in question, and very proud friend and brother of these two gentlemen.
We're filmmakers, we're filmmaking partners, and Yaniv is a photographer, and we all share an office together in New York City. And we're sort of compulsive chroniclers of our lives, and we always keep little cameras on us. And about 2 years ago, Neve started receiving paintings in the mail from an 8-year-old girl in Michigan, paintings of his photographs, and they were really great. And we just sort of pulled out our cameras and started filming this friendship that started evolving between them, and which eventually led to Neve falling in love with her older sister, Megan, a very beautiful 19-year-old girl. And so what started off as a short film, after some sort of revelations, became a very exciting feature film and adventure for us.
Well, this is our first feature. We didn't intend to make a feature. I guess the main intention each and every day of our lives is to have cameras always, and to be ready. Like a true documentary filmmaker, you don't know where it's going to come from, but if you're in the right place at the right time with the right equipment, you'll be ready. So in the last 2 years, technology's really changed, and HD cameras have gotten really small. For instance, the TX1 made by Sony, which you can get on Amazon, Canon TX1, is really small and beautiful, feels like a Super 8 camera, and shoots 1280 by 720, which is pretty large HD, and it's really good quality. And at that point, we each have one, and just keep it in our pockets at all times. I film my brother a lot anyway, and so if anything did happen, I'd have footage for it. Sure. Well, it's all a result of the relationship. She found him online. So when he found her, when he responded, it was online. When he wanted to look her up or find out where she lived in relation to where he lives, it's on Google Maps. So when we started making a movie, or when we started editing the movie, it only made sense that everything was online, or everything's through the computer. And that's just the language. It's the language of modern communication. It's the language of this relationship. So it just made sense to keep it, within the world. And it was fun to figure out how to shoot the screen. We figured out how to shoot him, which was to have small cameras ready so it wasn't invasive. And he could just live his life, and we would be right there. And then we figured out what kind of lenses and what kind of cameras were best to shoot off a computer screen.
Well, I think what people have been saying to us a lot after screenings and in Facebook messages is that they are really grateful that we took our personalities and used them in making a movie about other personalities. And our sensitivity and our graciousness and our humility are what made the movie possible, and we have our family and our friends to thank for that. But the movie does really deal with a bigger question of, well, when you make a documentary about somebody, don't you kind of need to exploit them if it's going to be successful? And if anybody else had made this movie, I don't think I would have done it, but I also would not have felt as comfortable being exploited, if that's the right word. And I don't think that the subjects on the other end of the film would have felt as comfortable either. So it was a combination of our personalities and also our just general sort of upbeat, positive, good-willed nature that fell in line with the story and the timing and the fact that we're there filming. I mean, just all the pieces fell into place, and we couldn't have asked for a better outcome because I think it's an important film for people to see because it does deal with major issues that everyone's having through the internet or with friends, or someone's friend had something like this happen, and how do we interact now in this digital age and still maintain a real connection with people?
I think initially a big thing that they're drawn to is Neve. Neve is, Neve's one of my best friends, but we also have, Ariel and I have a fascination with him as a person. And, for instance, one once I considered making a short film just called Neve on the Phone, which would have just been Neve talking to people on the phone, which is actually sort of what this movie is in a way. But I think it's kind of, it has things that everybody can relate to right now because almost everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's sending emails and chatting and sending text messages and, meeting people online who you haven't met in real life. And so I think it has these sort of universally appealing things. My tip would just be to just do it because, it doesn't really matter what kind of camera you have as long as your story is good. And that was in many ways the lesson of this film for us, that, we shoot things on 35 millimeter sometimes, and we shoot glossier things than this, but this is by far our best work, and it's shot on, cameras that range in price from, $100 to $500. And it's just that it's an interesting story, and that's really the most important thing.
Truth is stranger than fiction. Find somebody that you like, that you're fascinated by, that you think is cinematic, and film them. I find no need to write anything. I can't write better than he lives. So everyone's got a friend like that. Shoot him.
I think if I had a tip, which is what got me here today, is to also relish in the collaborative process. Find people who you think are more talented than you in certain areas and develop a relationship with them, because a big part of why this movie is successful is because of the relationship that they developed with the editor, who I think is a key player in this film in telling the story. So meet people, be open to developing new relationships with other filmmakers. Don't feel like any sense of competition or nothing like that. The more people you work with and the more people you know, the better your work's going to be, I think.